Hey, welcome to the conversation that's as diverse as the dogs that we adore. This is Gun Dogs and Guard Dogs, ultimate podcast dedicated to talking sense about dogs with Les Graham and Ross McCarthy. They work with all breeds of dog, but one specialises in gun dogs and the other prefers guard dogs. No flashy trends or social media hype here, just tried and true knowledge that stands the test of time. They bring you valuable insights and honest conversations about the social predator you share your home with. So here we go. About 45 minutes of gun dogs, guard dogs, good dogs, some maybe not so good dogs, and a dash of gossip.
Guten Tag, Graham.
Guten Morgen. Good morning. Had to think about it. I should know that one because that was my maiden name.
What?
Morgan.
Morgan. Oh, I thought you were Graham. Morgan.
No. Guten
Oh.
Morgen. Morgan was my maiden name.
Oh, was it?
Mm,
Oh,
it was. It was.
that's nice.
No, it was actually. It was a good name.
Morning in German.
Yeah.
Nice.
Morning, morning. Oh dear. That still makes me laugh.
I know. Crazy, crazy. How are you
So
anyway?
we need to share the joke actually. So who was it who did it?
We've shared it already on previous episodes. It's Catherine Tate. Morning, Martin.
Catherine Tate. It was Morning Has Broken or something, wasn't it? Or Oh, a Beautiful Morning. There was a song in the background, wasn't she? And she came in and went, Morning, Martin.
Morning, Martin.
Morning,
Yeah,
Martin. And then there was a guy at, what was the
Penrith.
hotel at Penrith?
Westmoreland.
The Westmoreland, wasn't it? Martin, who used to deal with us and we did the bookings for teaching. See, this is a good link. This is a good link. When we used to teach at Penrith.
Yeah.
And I'd go, Morning, Martin. And you'd go,
Morning, Martin.
Morning, Martin. Indeed. Because today we're talking about teaching.
We are talking about teaching, aren't we?
That was a really good link.
It is a nice link. I'm tired today because I just came back from teaching and I'm just going off again teaching, which is cool because I love it.
Uh-huh. Is that it?
Yeah.
Conversation over.
Yeah, that's about it really. But no, I am tired because it takes it out. I don't know why, because we're used to doing like sometimes we do 4 days, sometimes we do 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I've only done 2 and yeah, really tired.
It's the getting it's not necessarily the teaching, it's like the getting organized beforehand
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then getting unpacked and everything when you get home.
There's a lot of there's a lot goes into it actually, a lot of prep, a lot of like session planning, PowerPoints,
Hmm.
films. Load in the car, banners, dog beds, equipment, all of that stuff. But the more you do it, the more you get into it, don't you? But
Yeah.
going through lists, endless lists of what needs to be done, what needs to be taken.
I think it can be more tiring doing short ones because when you do long ones, you kind of settle in, don't you? Whereas
Yeah.
so if you're away for like 5 days or 6 days teaching, you load the car and then you kind of settled for 4 days and then you
Yeah.
unload the car. Whereas if it's a short one, you load the car and then the next day you're back home unloading and unpacking.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we did this time we did 2 1-day workshops. So you don't really kind of
That's
settle
tiring.
in because you've got you do you start the day, then obviously go through the day, finish it, and then you start another day, as opposed to people coming in relaxed and chilled because they've done the previous day. They haven't, they're new. So it's quite hard work, but
You
all
have
good.
2 mornings of stressful people turning up.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's not the same. Once people so the fast track program we run, sort of we have by the second workshop, well, the second day really, people are
Uh-huh.
chilled. But when they rock up on the next workshop, everybody knows each other. They all go to their same seats.
I know it's funny, isn't it? They do that on the APGI program. So the first and they stay in the same seats like all 14 days.
Yeah, totally. It's exactly how we roll. You can
So
just guarantee it's so funny. People come in and they just go to their seat. But you do, don't you? Because it's comfortable.
yeah, but sometimes it's good to move because you see a different perspective.
You see a
I do
difference.
move people around on the last workshop.
Yeah, we always make sure people get an opportunity to work with everybody in the room. But
Uh-huh.
it's nice, isn't it, for team building and all the rest of it. But Yeah, no, they always sit in the same place next to the same person.
Yeah.
Supposed to dare not move. If you sat next to someone and they went and sat next to someone else, you'd be like, oh dear.
When me and Kenny did a course years ago together, we did Reiki together. He did so I did my Reiki one, and Kenny, because the person I did it didn't do them together, so he had to do like 2 days of Reiki one, 2 days of Reiki two. But Kenny trained with a guy called Alan Sweeney in London, and he did Reiki one and two together on the same weekend, you see.
Right.
So it's like, right, there's a meaning to this. So we went up to London together, and Kenny went off and did his Reiki one, and I went and potted around the hotel and got treatment and stuff. And we did the Reiki two together. So we turned up on day two, and him, Kenny sat in his seat, and I put my stuff beside him, and this girl came in and moved my stuff. Just as I was sitting there.
Oh,
I know. She
oh,
says, I was sitting next to Kenny, and Kenny was like, "This is my wife." Ah, okay.
oh.
People are such creatures of habit on the. It was like, I'm sitting there, I'm sitting next to Kenny. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? No, we are all creatures of habit, though, aren't we?
We are, we are.
Can't help it.
Keeps us
Makes you feel,
alive.
yeah, it makes you feel comfortable and safe, doesn't it? Do you want to be out of your comfort zone too often?
No, and also like instinctively, if we build up a relationship and a rapport with somebody, then from a survival perspective, they have our back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. But like I
But
said,
when
everyone,
did you start teaching, matey?
well,
Well, okay, when did you start teaching Oh no, are we talking about teaching trainers or are we talking about teaching people to train dogs? Because they're two really different types of teaching.
yeah, the different type of thing. Well, tr teaching people to train dogs, I started that 30 years ago.
Have you
And then,
taught people to do anything else other than teach? So
oh, I don't know.
you've taught people how to train dogs,
Yeah,
yeah, and you've taught people how to train people how to train dogs.
yeah.
Okay. So have you taught anything else?
Um, Not that I can think of. Um,
Mm.
might have done.
Mm. What
Don't
about when
know.
you worked in the office or when you worked like way, way, way back, if you can remember that far back?
Long way back, I used to teach people systems training,
What was
like
that?
years ago, like
Mm.
in-house computer systems and stuff, but
Okay.
not for long.
No.
Wasn't really my bag. Yeah, computer systems and stuff, not really my thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Never was something I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a trainer or a teacher. Do you know what I mean? It's not
It
really.
just happened.
Yeah, I didn't imagine as a kid that I'd end up standing in front of groups of people talking. That wasn't my vibe at all. That would have been filled me with dread doing that.
Uh-huh.
But got to do
And
it.
so how do you find it? Do you find it different teaching people how to train dogs to training trainers?
Yeah. I like training dog professionals
Mhm.
as much. Yeah, I like it. It's I suppose I've done it a lot. I've been training, did training classes and behavior consults and, training people to do different stuff for like I said 30 years. Um, and that can be quite challenging, can't it, working with pet owners?
Yeah.
Um, trying to get them to achieve things when they've got limited time and limited interest and whatever else. Whereas people that want to do it and want to specialize in dogs and have the time and the inclination, it's a different thing completely. So
Mhm.
yeah, I like working with dog professionals that kind of know what they're doing and want to increase their skills and knowledge. So much nicer. What about you?
Which bit?
All of that. What do you like? Because obviously you did a lot of 'cause I remember years ago you'd be out and about 3 or 4 days a week on the field in
Mhm.
all weathers with all your expensive waterproof gear and all the
Mhm.
stuff you could
Which I've
kind
still
of buy.
got.
which, you were out. I remember like sitting in my warm office. You'd be out on the field gun dog training. Um, what do you prefer? Obviously, I guess it's, being in the nice warm hotel eating cake.
Yeah. It's interesting. I miss teaching gun dog training.
Yeah,
Yeah, I miss the camaraderie because doing gun dog training is really different than doing pet training.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah, well, they're committed. I mean, you would never get the majority of pet people to rock up to your field,
No,
standing in all that rain and wind and cold
yeah,
to
no,
teach their dog to sit. No thanks, they wouldn't bother.
no.
But your gun
And
dogs are committed,
the
aren't
gun
they?
dog hours, I mean, the turn up. The only time I ever cancelled was if it was windy and raining.
Yes,
I mean, we've trained blizzards and everything.
I know. I used to think because obviously you got blooming Reynards and all sorts, haven't you? So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in the freezing cold. Yeah, that
Freezing
doesn't
cold, rain
doesn't
on.
float my boat at all.
I miss that. I miss the camaraderie because
Yeah,
it's different. But I really enjoy teaching, like training trainers, training
yeah,
professionals.
yeah,
Um, Being able to take the knowledge to so much deeper and expand it. And when I used to train kinesiologists as well, and it's
yeah,
the same thing, really different to doing therapy to training somebody how to do therapy. And it's
yeah.
just to be able to expand somebody's mind is just awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I do, and I like seeing the progression. I feel really proud quite a lot of the time when I see how people develop, how they grow. They come in, particularly with our, students that do long-term kind of courses with us.
Mhm.
Seeing them come up in on the first day and then watching their development and their growth and seeing them network and seeing their sort of friendships evolve and, all of that stuff is really lovely. And yeah, the onward relationship as well that you have with these people, it's really cool.
I think watching somebody when they turn up, so like if we look at the your fast track and the APJ, because they're both 18 month,
Yeah, they
and
are. Yeah.
the turn up on the first but well, I mean for my guys, they're with me for 5 months before the first workshop.
Okay.
And I can remember one of them springing to mind, and I'm sure she does listen to this podcast. I'm not going to name her, but she'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Um, she was she's a walker, and she used to have home boarding dogs as well. And her dog wouldn't retrieve. And I said, you need to stop walking it with the other dogs. You need to like really develop the relationship that you've got with your dog and build on that relationship, which will then help with retrieving and everything else. And she was absolutely adamant. This was on the first. You okay?
Mhm.
You just spill water on yourself.
Why don't you just carry on with your story? You don't need to alert you. You just crack on with your story, Les.
Well, I was gazing out the window and then I looked at you and I was just checking you were okay. Is that all
I'm
right?
all right. Bit wet, bit wet, but I'm all right.
Anyway, so on
Yeah.
the first on the first Zoom call, oh my gosh. Oh my God, this
See,
is
you could have just let that slide. Nobody would have known, and you wouldn't have had giggles, and we'd have all been fine, and we'd finish this podcast on time.
anyway, we had a conversation afterwards. So we had this Zoom call, and it was like a group Zoom call, and we're talking about it. And I said it'd be really good if you didn't walk your dog with the other dogs. And she couldn't see it. And we had a conversation afterwards. She kind of contacted me and we jumped on and had a conversation on Zoom as a one-to-one. And she wasn't convinced. She was like, no, 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 no. Really loads of experience, with dog sitting and dog walking and everything.
Yeah.
And she did. She took it on board. And within like a month, the dog had an amazing retrieve. And I think that's what I really like. It's um expanding people's belief system. So
Yeah.
you know the start the 18 month, and quite often the beliefs are quite fixed, and then like 18 months later, hopefully less than 18 months later, but 18 months later, their knowledge has just kind of mushroomed. Do you know what I mean? They've got all this independent knowledge, and
Yeah.
then they look back and they go, "Oh my God, did I really think that?" And it's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a whole depth of education, isn't it? And expanding the mind and um,
Yeah.
letting them rethink their beliefs. It's great. It's wonderful.
It's really cool because it's really cool to have the conversations with people, like you said, 18 months or whatever, however long later. Just, yeah, the interesting conversations that we have that we wouldn't have had on day
Yeah,
one or whatever.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, their
It's so
knowledge and
good.
yeah, I love it. It's really nice.
Mm.
And it's nice to see people do well. You know, we have a lot of people, as you do, that want a career change. And, you know, for them to succeed and to see them start, you know, they send you their new logo for their new business that they're just embarking
Yeah.
on and all of those things. And then seeing their, you know, seeing their Instagram and, you know, it's just really, really cool to be part of their journey.
Yeah, it is. And just to see them evolve, and like when we accredit them, you think, I've helped these people change their life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a real, I mean, it's a privilege, and it's a real honor to teach people, to help them change their life like that. And but it's a real, I don't know, it's a real soul thing. It's like, oh my God, I've helped these people change their life, and not just from a career perspective, but like the home life changes, hopefully the finances change, the happiness changes, and because they're happier, the family's happier, and it's just
Yeah. Wide reaching, wide reaching.
wide reaching. It really is wide reaching. And of course the dogs are happier.
Yeah, I like to
But
see.
it's a knock on, sorry Ross, it's a knock on effect, isn't it? So like I've got 23 instructors, and then I'm about to accredit more. I'm not going to say how many more because they don't know yet. Um, and you think they're then teaching other people with
Yeah.
their dogs. Do you know what I mean? It's like when I was doing it, there was only me, and my range was just what was on the cricket club, at the cricket club grounds. And now,
Say that 10 times. Cricket club.
yeah, let's not. Um, but it's like I could only ever reach the amount of people that I could fill in on a wet, windy day.
Yeah.
Whereas now we've got like 23 people all teaching my methods, and the amount of people that they're reaching. And it's just, and that's it for me. It's that big mushroom, and that I don't know, it's a whole, it's mind blowing, isn't it?
It's nice because it's, you know, there are a lot of rubbish course providers. I was having a conversation yesterday with a lady who's doing a level 6 qualification with Learn Direct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Which, you know, she's just ticking a box. She wants a level 6 qual. She's got lots of experience. She's just ticking a box because she wants qualification and it's cheaper.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
whatever. But there's a lot of, you know, dreadful course providers around like that generic nonsense that's, you know, as we've explored lots in the past, there's so much drivel about. So it's really nice that we get an opportunity to, you know, promote ethical standards and to deliver, you know, decent
Decent.
training and to get helping dogs on a greater scale
Mhm.
than you on your own stood in a cricket club. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
reach of the people that we train going out helping dogs with sensible methodologies
yeah.
is massive. It's immense that we're able to, like you said, privileged position really to be able to be part of this, or part of their individual journey, but actually part making bigger ripples across like dog training industry standards and stuff.
Mhm. Definitely. And it just, yeah, I mean, you think of the knock-on effect of like how many people we teach each year, and you think of that knock-on
Yeah.
effect on the
Yeah,
community, on people's lives, on their children, and their children's attitudes towards dogs. And yeah, it's massive.
yeah. No, it's really cool. Well, having been doing it for 20 years or whatever, then that's thousands of people that have been reached and gone out and,
Mhm.
hopefully delivering a really good service um, based on what they've been taught. And of course, they continue to develop and grow and evolve when they leave us, don't they?
Mhm.
They get the foundation from us, and then hopefully off they go and, continue to learn like we all do. Every day is a
Yeah,
school day, isn't it?
it is. It is indeed. And
It
that's
is.
and with I mean the books came before I was teaching instructors, and that was like my initial contribution was getting them out so that people could use the methods. And yeah, it's just when you get feedback about how the teaching, whether it's like an online course or a Zoom or a workshop or books or blogs or the magazines, because we've both written for magazines in the past. It's
Back in the
when
day when magazines were a thing, yeah.
I know, God, they've pretty much gone now, aren't they? But
It
like
buys
getting
them.
feedback, some of your articles were brilliant for some, all of your articles. I'll rephrase that. All of your
Yeah.
articles were brilliant for Dogs Monthly.
I was going
And
to say, talking about some of them, yeah.
say that again.
I was going to say what you're talking about, some of them.
I know all of them, and there's a couple that really sprung to mind actually. But yeah, your articles for Dogs Monthly were brilliant,
Mm,
and getting feedback from them, that's when the ripples start, because sometimes it's the magazine articles that just pique people's interest enough to look into potential courses, or it makes them think, oh, that looks like a really cool profession. I want to learn
mm.
how to do it. Or I really like the technique that Ross put in Dogs Monthly this week using an umbrella or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that on board with my dog. There's
Mm.
the ripples are amazing. It's not just I don't think it's just the courses from a teaching perspective, because when we write, we teach through the written word.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all avenues, isn't it? I mean,
It's all avenues, yeah, definitely.
what we get quite a bit now is a lot of student inquiries, potential student inquiries that have seen a behaviourist or trainer that have been through CIDBT because they've seen other trainers and behaviourists and whatever before that
Uh-huh.
without having any success, and it's, caused problems or further problems with the dog. And then they've seen it and they're like, actually, having the ability to change someone's life like that, like we do
Hmm.
in behavior, I mean, like, talk about probably, I mean, that's the most impactful um, thing we do, isn't it? Behavior consults completely
Yeah.
changes people's lives when they're in such a mess. And when they think that they could potentially be able to do that as well because it's been
Mhm.
so powerful. So we get quite a lot of inquiries like that lately, which is great. It's, that they feel so inclined that they've been helped so much that they want to carry that forward and help other people.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it is. It's great. No, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's very, very, very privileged. Like I said, it's just, yeah, it's a very cool place to be, isn't it? Nice occupation.
Hmm. It is, and learning a lot as well through students.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's really important as well, just before you go on about that, that we all create this kind of group. So we've got, I mean, it's kind of sort of power in numbers, isn't there? Rather than being isolated on your own
Mhm.
with these people that we meet on the journey, they're, become colleagues and friends and, part of your team,
They do.
which is really cool. Because yeah, we need numbers, don't we, in this mad industry? Um,
Oh,
we need numbers of decent people, decent, honest people.
it's all still bonkers again. And as he said, there's a lot of poor training providers out there.
Poor. That's the word, poor.
Poor, 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 poor,
Yeah.
poor. I mean, I did, as you know, when I first come back from New Zealand, I did a small short course. I did,
Yeah, he
I
left
was
that, didn't
on
he?
the animal behavior course, like to do a degree. And I can remember having I won't say an argument, but a bit more than a discussion, less than an argument, with the tutor about the taxonomy of the dog. She mocked
Oh,
me because I said it was a canis lupus familiaris, and she said, "No, it's not. It's nothing to do with the wolf.
I
Nothing
know.
to do with the wolf. Nothing to do with the wolf." And it's like, no, it was changed in 1993. And she's, no, 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 we don't accept that. We don't accept that.
Well, it's
It's,
not down to you to accept it, love.
I know, exactly. And she had problems with her border collie. She couldn't get it to walk on the stage, she couldn't get it to recall, and she was teaching animal behaviour degree. And she was busy doing a master studying African elephants. And when she did the lecture, she did it on the PowerPoint, and she was literally just reading it word for word off the PowerPoint.
Yeah,
She couldn't, and this is the degree standard. This is degree animal behaviour, and on the assignment, I only did one assignment left. So on the first assignment, she said, "I'm not interested in anything anybody's got to say. It's got to come direct from published work," which is the exact opposite of how we teach, because
yeah,
we want to know your thoughts, we want to know how you feel about things, we want to know how you do things.
yeah.
We want to know what's going on for the student, what's going on in the student's head. Anybody can pick up a book and quote it.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I was
Yeah, her attitude was, if it's not published, I'm not interested. And I just started writing the outline for the pet gun dog at the time.
mm,
I was furious and I
well, it's
left.
ridiculous, isn't it? I was right. I got a book offer from book company, obviously. So I was going to write a book, and I'm not writing a book now because financially it's stupid. So I'm not doing it. But I had to put in like a kind of a breakdown
The
or whatever.
outline, yeah, I remember the
Yeah,
synopsis, yeah.
outline of yeah, synopsis and yeah, breakdown. And then that goes out for kind of, I suppose, peer review or whatever before it gets
Yeah, yeah, because I saw it. Uh-huh.
yeah. So yeah, and someone was like, well, where's the references? What's he going to reference? Where's this, that? I'm not referencing anybody. It's my book. I'm writing stuff I know. I'm not going to pick out, Les Graham in 2019 said. It's me. Me in 2019,
That's
I said.
exactly, my books don't have references in them, if you've noticed. At the
What's
don't,
about
because
you?
they're
Why
my
would you?
books.
They've already written the book. You don't need to reference back to that book. They've already written it. Do you
Yep.
know what I mean? Write your own book.
I mean, you can quote them, like in the Well-Mannered Dog, I start every chapter with a quote,
Yeah.
and from a book. I don't think any of them are dog books, actually. I think there's Nietzsche. I quote Nietzsche. How's that? How cool is that, quoting Nietzsche in a dog book? Um, Terry Pratchett,
Yeah.
Brené Brown, Professor Black, who was the anthropologist, forensic anthropologist. So, like, the quotes in my book are nothing to
Well,
do
it's
with
your
dogs.
book,
They're
isn't it?
just
Written on
bringing
your
in
experience.
things. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It's like, this is my book, this is my experience.
Yeah.
And
No, I think it's ridiculous.
if I want to if I want to say something about somebody, I'll put it in the body of the book. I won't like that, in 1990, McCarthy, open brackets, and do like the whole reference. It is so dull to read.
Yeah, it's
It's so
ridiculous.
dull.
No, it is. And like you just said, I mean, the benefit of like working with our students and stuff and learning from them, we share ideas. We don't just stick to what someone said in,
No.
2012. We
Mhm.
share and evolve. We're like, we found a new cool way to teach a dog to, you know, put a
Mhm.
paw over its nose, or well, how can we teach this? How do you think we teach it? How do you do it? And that's where we learn, isn't it? We kind of
Yeah,
evolve, we share ideas, we try different things out, and you
think
know,
outside the box. And can you
yeah,
remember we were teaching professional instructor skills years ago, and we taught Not You on the course. I don't know if you can remember this or
you're
not.
going to talk about Rob.
I am.
I know.
I am. So we had the posts, didn't we? This is right. As you walk through the posts, one you say not you, the dog's got to stay behind the post and you keep walking. It was a German Shepherd, wasn't it?
I don't
And
remember, but I remember you were impressed with Rob. Yeah.
I was really impressed. So they went through and everyone was going not you, and they were just doing the hand signal and walking, and Rob couldn't get the German Shepherd to stop. The dog kept following through. So in the end, as he said, not you, just drop a couple of treats on the ground. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool,
I,
isn't
I
it?
mentioned him in the second edition.
Oh,
I said,
did you?
yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You have to
Yeah.
you have to acknowledge people,
Yeah,
definitely.
because it was his idea. But like we've
Exactly.
learned, when we teach like the not you now, like I tend to throw the treat behind the dog. So we'll get the not you, but then
Uh-huh.
it all comes from behind the dog, right? So where
Yeah.
that came from, I don't know. Whether I just thought that's a good idea or whether I saw somebody do it or what, I don't know. But it's just another little method, another idea, isn't it? And if you
Definitely.
don't practice it and you don't, you know, that's the fun of dog training is when you've got your blooming Dachshund that won't lay down and you've got your German Shepherd that's stuck to your leg like glue, it won't stay there. That's when the creativity comes in and your knowledge and your experience, like, okay, how can we do this then, because all
Yeah.
those other things we've tried, that's not working, is it? So what can we do, how can we do it? And that's where the learning happens, isn't it? When you've got
Definitely. It's the magic.
having a little compliant dog that does whatever is not, not a learning curve, is it? You know what I mean?
No,
It's
and
when the
and I think
problem.
every dog teaches you something. And I was talking to Linda, who I do competitive obedience with, and we're talking about
Yeah.
dogs. And I said, I am a great believer that you get the dog that you need rather than the dog that you want. And every dog is there to teach you something about
Yeah, see, I
yourself.
don't think that. I think the dogs get who they need.
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, it
not the
is.
same
It
thing.
is. It is because if the dog
No.
gets the person that they need, the person
Yeah,
has to be able to adapt what they're doing to help that particular dog. So I mean,
they do.
Look at Phelan, he was bloody frightened of his own shadow,
Yeah.
terrified of his own shadow, and
Oh, you didn't need or want that, did you?
no, but I've learned a lot.
I think, well, I'd rather, I mean, my female Rottweiler, I didn't need her.
Maybe you
I
did.
have, I have learned a
What
lot.
have
I
you
have learned
learned?
a
No,
lot.
no, but you must have learned stuff from having her.
I've learned a hell of a lot from having her.
Yeah.
Uh, but did I need to know that? Maybe, maybe. Would
Well,
anybody,
you're a
would anybody
teacher.
else have had her? Probably not. Would anybody have kept her? Probably not.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, pretty much all of my dogs, probably other than Dante, although maybe it's even Dante, other people would have really struggled with them.
Hmm.
Definitely, they would have
No,
had an issue with them.
I think they find the owners that they need to, not necessarily we need them.
Well,
But
okay.
it's all, it's all the luck of the draw, isn't it, when you're getting dogs? Or
Yeah,
maybe it's written in the stars that, Les needs to learn some more about fear.
he's sorted now anyway. He's all done,
No, good.
pretty
No, good.
much. Yeah.
But
But
no, they all come.
you're right, they do find the owner that they need. I think I dread to think what Emrys would have been like in a pet home.
Yeah, no,
And
probably.
Ziggy, I mean, you remember Zig, he was a bit of a
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
very high energy, weren't they?
yeah.
Yeah, no, they all, they all teach us stuff, don't they?
Mhm.
They all do.
But maybe as we get them because we do train and we share knowledge, so we get these tricky dogs, and then we can share that knowledge with other people when they say, "Oh, I don't know how to do this." Well, one of my
Yeah.
dogs used to do this, and
No, exactly. And I do think you've got to have lived with dogs, although that doesn't, owning dogs and living with dogs doesn't qualify you to give advice to other people. But a component of your study, I think you have to understand because you have to have been there and experienced it
Mhm.
and know the problems that you get. I mean, like, with Ida, when she was a puppy, I had problems with her jumping up, but it was a whole nother level. When people say, a dog jumping up, the intensity, it's not a dog jumping up. This is a different level of jumping up. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So, but that gives me an understanding and an empathy. So if I get a phone call saying, oh, I've got a dog that jumps up at people, you don't just assume that it's a
A
certain level.
nice, gentle
Well, you
hello.
don't think, oh, does it? I mean, went to see an Australian Shepherd not long ago. That jumps up at visitors. I mean, it comes in literally like, well, just like a dart. I mean, it comes in at you, boom. and up. I mean, the intensity of that, I mean, it hurts, obviously. I mean, the
Mhm.
dog just runs into you and up at you. So that's not, to me, that's not just a jumping up issue, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not just a nice, friendly greeting where the dog lifts its feet off the floor. So there's different levels of it. So yes, you do learn a lot by having your own dogs, don't you? And the
Mhm.
problems that they come with, and you learn about genetics and what you've done and what useless advice people give you as a, as a dog owner. They tell you, oh, you should do that. Yeah, all right, love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's all part of the journey, and it all part of the journey, all part of the fun.
It is. It is, and it's part of the it's part of the learning journey, but it's a part of the teaching journey as well. If you
Yeah,
don't, I say to the guys, if it's going to go wrong, you want it to go wrong on the field in front of me, because then
yeah,
we can give you tools and techniques to put it right.
yeah,
And it's harder when you're not around. And when it goes wrong, you're learning, so you can then pass it on to other people
yeah,
when they struggle as an instructor.
yeah. Yeah, it's all the problem solving, isn't it? That's kind of what it is. Well, that's all what we do a lot. I mean, in behaviour, a lot of what we do is to go and investigate what is going on, what's the cause of this, why is this happening,
Yeah.
and what can we do to form it or rectify it and make it better.
Yeah. When did it start? Just my phone. So, when did it start?
Oh, I
What
can
was the
hear it. It
trigger?
sounds like a whoopee cushion.
Can you? It's actually on silent.
It's
It's
been
vibrating.
vibrating. Been
Yeah,
vibrating for the
and not
last hour.
vibrate. Say that again?
But it's been vibrating for the last hour.
It has not.
It has. I didn't like to ask if it was your phone or not. I just
What did you think it was then, huh?
don't go there. I knew it was your phone.
It only just did it.
It's done it a
If
few
it was
times.
ringing, it would have been the ping panda. You would have heard it.
Oh, okay. No, is it?
It
No.
wasn't
Okay.
me.
Shut moving around the desk.
Oh,
When are you off on your next workshop? What have you got going on now then?
I haven't got a workshop now until September. Woo!
Oh, blimey, that's a while away, isn't it?
I know, but I'm busy writing. I'm busy sorting out the next program because I need to tweak it because they've dropped the qualifications. So I need to sit down and plan how I'm going to
Yeah.
teach the next one for January, and then we've got the CLA. The CLA is what I'm getting organised for.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. CLA Game Fair. When's that? July?
End of July.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've got to get everything ready for the new workshop ready for July to advertise that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So no, the next workshop's September, but the next big thing in the diary is July. And yeah, that's it. Training my own dogs and going on holiday and
Cool. Are you
writing. I'm busy. No, I'll tell you next time. I'll tell you next time what I'm busy doing.
all right? Keep us in suspense. Are you still delivering qualifications?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Are you?
Some, yeah.
Yeah, I'm busy. Well, we're busy doing the diploma, the level 4 diploma at the minute. That's one of the courses that we're busy doing.
They're
Um,
hard work, the quals,
yeah.
the
Well, it's
paperwork, and
yeah. So at the minute the APGI's got two level 3s, level 3 certificate in nutrition, level 3 certificate in canine training behaviour, so they get both of them. But AIM have just dropped the nutrition certificate, which is why I'm having to rewrite the course.
okay.
Because
Mm,
I've had to rewrite it twice now because they dropped. Originally it was canine studies. That was my favourite. It was brilliant. Um, and then I replaced it with nutrition, and now they've dropped nutrition, so I'm just dropping it. I'm
I'm a
just
little bit torn on just before we go. I'm mindful that we've got to get on, but I'm a little bit torn on the certification versus qualification. So I have lots of chats with people
yeah.
that want a qualification. Understandably, it's great, isn't it, to have a formal qualification,
Mhm.
internationally recognized qualification at whatever level is very cool. Um, but the academic standard required to achieve that, particularly at higher levels, like level 6 and whatever,
Mhm.
the demands are very intense. So talking about referencing earlier, I mean, referencing
Yeah,
work, all of that, it's a lot to do. And
yeah,
I think that the certification route, whereby you get the same knowledge. So, for example, if you did the CIDBT fast track program, 18 months, no qual, just the CIDBT certification and various
Mhm.
certificates en route, that is better than doing a level 6 qualification through Learn Direct, unequivocally, even if I do say so
Yes,
myself. Because we
yes.
have practical hands-on experience, it's delivered by people that actually work in the industry and have done for many years, blah, blah, blah. Um,
But
but
the Learn Direct is hasn't got a workshop, is it?
no, it's a
And
level.
this is and I'm right there with you, Ross, because I'm kind of the same because we're about to do the level 5 diploma and I'm putting a workshop in there and other people don't do the workshop.
No,
And
you can't
you
do
just
it.
think, no, and that's getting dropped. And like the same as you, it's there's the certification or there's the qualification. And I'm with you. It's like this. I think a certification by somebody who knows what they're doing, is in the industry, has got lots of experience. I think that is worth more than a qualification, potentially, depending on if the people who are teaching the qualification are the same people who are doing the certification. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think it's
And the
better
best
if
of
you've got an
both
option.
worlds then.
Yeah, if you've got an
Get the
option to
best of
do
both worlds.
both, then do both.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an option to do both, then
Then
actually
then yeah.
the practical experience, the qualification, and the ability then to work professionally in the industry, whichever discipline. So whether that's your APGI and you go ahead and you do, you become a professional gun dog trainer, whatever, or you do CIDPC fast track and work in behavior, whatever that might be,
Yeah.
you're equipped to do that professionally,
Yeah.
whereas you're not. I mean, the amount of conversations I have with people that have just come out, they've just finished their animal behavior degree, and they're like, "Can we come to you for work experience?" No, you can't.
No.
You can come on workshops and courses, but no, you're not dragging about. You've got an animal
But
behavior degree. What do you need to come out with me for?
but that's the thing with the spatial animal behavior degree. Um, it was an animal behavior degree. So the first workshop we spent a full day. I spent a full day in a cow shed, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
observing cows, and then we had another day down at Barwell Zoo looking at the monkeys.
I mean, how
And
is that ever? I mean,
it
from an
we
interest
did
point,
nothing. We did like half a morning on dogs, and the whole the whole thing was centered around like husbandry. You know how you would get an ape
how you
or a
milk a cow.
monkey. It was observing cows, it was quite interesting, but like not as interesting if we'd been able to observe dogs. But the whole thing in the relation to the training, and it was to do with operant conditioning, and it was how to get a monkey to put its hand through a gap in the window to get its nails done.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, what we do, that's awesome. But that
yeah.
won't tell me how to stop the dog killing a cat down the road when
No.
it's on lead. It's two completely different behaviors. And I know we're getting on to methods and stuff, but I think that's where it's falling short. The animal behavior degree is very ivory tower, and
Well,
it's not practical, and it doesn't necessarily translate to the real world of dog training.
no, well, it doesn't. I mean,
It doesn't.
how can studying all of those animal species be of any use? Most people that want to work in canine behavior or feline behavior, and feline is far less,
Uh-huh.
but people that want to work in that remit, they need to earn a living mostly. They're not doing it out of interest. They're not doing a degree out of interest to
No,
study all animal species and learn a bit about cows and a bit about monkeys and a bit about sheep. They need to learn about dogs because that's going to be the mainstay of their income. You don't get phone
absolutely.
calls saying, "Oh, I've got a bit of a problem with a cow." I mean,
No,
it doesn't happen.
no. I mean, for me, the best thing about the degree that I did, which is pretty gross, best thing about it was cutting up a fetal pig.
Fetal pig.
Mhm. we had to cut up a
And
stallion's eyeball, which was pretty horrific because it's
whose
a
eyeball?
stallion's.
Right. No. Did that go pop?
Yes,
Ugh.
it did. It popped, and the smell was horrific.
Jesus Christ.
But
Your pig fetus then.
because of my background in anatomy and because I teach anatomy and physiology as well, like
Mm.
once I got over the smell,
Oof.
I found it fascinating because I was actually opening up an animal, and we did it wasn't an autopsy, but you kind of got all the organs out and then put them all back together again, and it was for me from the side of the stuff that I teach about dogs and the anatomy and physiology and the dogs and all of that lot. For me, that was the best bit about it because it gave me an opportunity to actually get my hands inside of a quadruped.
Yeah.
I know you're grimacing and you're pulling faces and you've got that disgust face.
I've got disgust. I would never. No, it's only put me right off a bacon sandwich.
It was honestly, Ross, it was so interesting. But because I've been teaching anatomy and physiology for years, and I've used models and diagrams to actually open up a rib cage and see, like lifting out the heart and seeing what was behind it. It was, for me, it was an amazing experience. But for most people who wanting to dog behavior and learn about dog training,
Irrelevant.
that would have been a nightmare for them. It would have been like their worst nightmare having to cut up a dead animal.
Yeah, that's don't float my
You would have
boat.
hated it. For me, I found it really fascinating, but that's my background.
Yeah.
So I think the animal behaviour degree opened my eyes. That was when I joined the CFBA. That was when I had a phone call
Yeah.
and came to you guys. And I think there's a lot of nonsense out there
Yeah.
wrapped up as it's an animal behaviour degree, but it's if you want to do a degree, then or any kind of higher education, then it needs to be dog specialist.
Yeah, it does. It needs to be specific to what you need to,
Definitely.
what skill set you need, isn't it?
Yeah. And you really don't need to know how to cut up a fetal pig in order to train a dog.
You really don't.
You really don't.
I've never been challenged by not knowing how to do.
I found it, you know what I like? It's like I've turned into David Bellamy. Oh,
Yeah, getting your hands in. Yeah,
get in there, have a rummage around in the organs, and
yeah. I bet they're blooming now. Look at her psycho over there, ripping into the pig.
all of these people who are going, oh, that's gross. I was going, oh my God, look. Honestly, seeing the diaphragm was just mind blowing.
Up to your elbows in pig's liver.
It was the diaphragm because seeing it like amazing.
God, I hope you took pictures.
No, I wish I had have.
Yeah,
On my little blackberry, my little blueberry. But the
yeah,
blackberries are blueberries. I can't remember. There were blueberries, weren't there?
blackberry.
Blackberries. Because it didn't. I don't think the blackberries took photos, did it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. They had emails on them. I remember that. That was very impressive. You get an email.
Because they had the tiny little typing keyboard, didn't they?
Yeah, you did that.
The little clicky click click keyboard. Do you remember on the BlackBerry?
Well, you had to go A, B, C,
Uh-huh.
E, F, that to kind of. It's amazing, isn't it, how it's changed?
I know.
Amazing. Well, anyway, on that note, before we start talking about technology and showing people how ancient we are, you'll be back onto your blinking typewriters in a minute.
But like that.
Yeah, that one.
Clickety click click click. Indeed, love my typewriter.
Tipex. Right, I'm going off now to go and dream about fetal pigs.
Oh, lovely. Enjoy being salady for lunch.
Yeah, no chance.
Have a good one. I'll catch you later.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening. It's not just gun dogs and not just guard dogs, but all things canine, as we hope you have discovered. Please like, share and subscribe and help us spread a bit of common sense back into dog ownership. And a review wouldn't go amiss either. Catch up with Lez and Ross again in about 14 days for more canine conversations. Until next time, stay well and and enjoy your dogs. Any dog-related questions or topics, just drop an email to talk@cfba.uk or message us via facebook.com/gundogs and guard dogs podcast.